Yes, what I wanted to do, a lot of times we have these parties and we don't take time to really give thanks for everything that we've got. We've got a great network here. You guys, a lot of you know each other for years, and this is like a family that we're building, a network that we're building, and that's what mutual aid is really all about. So when I talk about the Mutual Aid Society, this is it's sort of a philosophy about how we live our lives purposefully, looking for ways that we can improve each other's lives on a day-to-day basis by using our network to the best of our abilities, and really trying to squeeze all of the juice and the unseen value that we create into each other's lives every single day. Um, Many of you guys know Maggie and I are pregnant. Our baby is due next month. We're so excited. It's thanks. It's like I was explaining it earlier. It's like the last 6 months of life has been on. You ever watch Netflix and you go fast forward and it's like 4x, 8x, It's like everything has been on 8x mode. Every day just goes by so fast, and every weekend goes by, every project, you start every one thing after the next. This fence we put up, we did a bunch of different things, and we're constantly doing things, and it's so exciting. And it's all leading up to next month, the baby's coming. So, but that's just personally for me, like that's one thing I'm excited about. I hope that everybody thinks about it for a second and takes a moment and shares what's on their heart about the last year. What have you been through? What are you going to do next year? How are we all going to work together to build bigger networks and to make all of our lives better? So I just want to kind of kick it off with that sentiment. The microphone is available. I know I have a special guest, Bob Podolski, who's come all the way from Acapulco, Mexico. He is a very good friend of mine, and I'd like to bring him up and he can say a few words.
Woo! Come on. Thank you, Bob. It's your birthday.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Okay. Wow. Hi.
Hello.
I like to be able to move around a little while I'm talking. So. Okay. Great. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And right. I'm going to get over here. There we go. I've been looking forward to this day for a long time. I want to share with you a few ideas that have come my way over the last 45 years. I am among your elders. We've got a few of us here that are contemporary. And I've made some discoveries from which I think you could benefit. I apologize for talking slowly because I've got so much on my mind, so many things to share. I know I don't have enough time to share them all with you this evening. But there's a lot there. I could actually literally stand here and talk nonstop for 3 days and not repeat myself. So there's a lot to learn. And my only claim to being the one sharing these ideas is that a lot of them cost me a lot of work to figure them out. And the benefit has been that I live most of my time now in a world of peace, prosperity, and freedom. And I do this by maximizing 4 specific values: truth, awareness, love, and creativity. And I spent 20 years or more learning how to maximize those properties in small groups for ethical purposes. Okay. says he's going to turn me up a bit. Okay, am I turned up a bit? I hope I am. Can you hear me better?
Turn all the way up.
Okay. Well, anyway, here's the thing. I want you to imagine that there's somewhere, imagine it geographically, there's a world where you could live in peace, prosperity, and freedom. And of course, if it's peaceful, and that means nobody is aggressing against you, it's easy to have all kinds of goodies. Freedom being one of them, prosperity being one of them. Those are automatic if you have peace. I remember being inspired by a bumper sticker that said, "Visualize peace." And so in 1971, I started asking the question, how can we do that? What would it take for humanity to thrive, to actually do everything right, and get all the benefits that comes from living up to our potential as human beings? What does it take? What has to happen? And I set out to find answers to those questions, and I found a few. And I'm going to just give you a little taste tonight of what I found. First of all, I had to come to grips with understanding ethics. Now, when I was a youngster, I thought ethics was trivial, stupid. Why would anyone care about it? I didn't understand that it was the most important subject you could learn. And I'm going to give you a 2-minute lesson in ethics, and you're going to come away knowing more about real ethics than most of the professors in the universities who are supposed to be teaching the subject. Here it is. Every ethic consists of 2 parts. A value that defines what you want more of or what you want to maximize, combined with a belief or belief system that tells you how to behave to get more of what it is you value. You can pick any pair you like. The value you want, the belief you want. Live by it and see what the result is. With the right choices, you get more of the thing you want. And with the wrong choices, you get less of the thing you want. So the question becomes, how do you know ahead of time which way is going to give you more of what you want? Real simple, basic stuff. When you understand the ethics, it all comes clear. Those decisions that we all make day to day become very easy. It's like having a compass in your head. You know which way to turn. You know what decisions to make. It comes down to this. We thrive when we value truth, awareness, love, and creativity. And when we live by the correct ethical belief, we say an act is ethical if it increases one of these resources, truth, awareness, love, or creativity. Increases it for at least one person, including the person acting, without limiting or diminishing it for anyone. Not for anyone. An ethical act increases one of these things without limiting or diminishing it for anyone. I've been living by that every moment of every day for about 40 years now. And it's wonderful. It takes some searching inwardly. The key, the beginning on that pathway, on that trail to that wonderful place, the beginning of the trail is self-knowledge. Most of us are brought up to lie about who we are to ourselves. We fool ourselves into thinking we're someone a little different than we really are. And that places limitations on our creativity. Unnecessary limitations once you understand what those limitations are and how to remove them. I remember proving that I had eliminated some of my self-imposed limitations when John Grinder, the originator of neuro-linguistic programming, showed me how to walk across a bed of red-hot coals with my bare feet without getting burned. And I did that. Red-hot coals, very high temperature, but somehow I altered myself in a way that allowed me to walk across them. We all have superpowers that we're mostly not aware of. And we can develop them, but to do so, there's a price to be paid. And the price is to find out, who am I really? How do I lie to myself? Now, I'm going to demonstrate to you that most of you are lying to yourselves. Ask yourself this question. If you wanted to intentionally tell yourself a lie and believe the lie, how would you go about doing it? What is the mechanism by which you could actually do that? You tell yourself a falsehood and make yourself believe it's true. How do you do that? I only know one way. Well, yeah, you have an answer?
Well, yeah, it would be multiple meanings for the same word, and the word that's spelled different ways when you read it.
So what you're describing then is a perceptual ambiguity.
Yes.
Yes, that would be a mechanism. It is in the subclass of a bigger group of mechanisms that I call hallucination. And the most common form of hallucination that we learn very, very early in life is amnesia, where the subconscious mind refuses access to stored memory, refuses it to the conscious mind, holds back information as a secret from the conscious mind. Why would we have such a mechanism in place? Ask yourself what you remember. Do you remember being 3 in nursery school and how that felt? I remember I was at 3, they threw me out of a nursery school because I wouldn't obey. I wouldn't play the games they wanted me to play. I got expelled. Age of 3. How about the age of 2? Do you remember being toilet trained? What was that like? Do you remember it? Most people don't remember it. And for reasons. It was traumatic in some way. How about the age of 1? How many of you remember nursing? You have those memories in your head. What's keeping you from accessing them? Your subconscious mind is protecting you from something, some risk or danger that existed back when the prohibition was installed. The prohibition of that memory. It's a self-defense mechanism that we use to lie to ourselves. This kind of mechanism operates in anyone who doesn't remember the details of their first 5 years of life. Who here besides Maggie remembers the first 5 years in detail? You do.
Decent.
Absolutely wonderful for you, sir. Congratulations. It's a very rare indicator of a better early childhood than most people have. A more nurturing experience. Anyway, I think I should tell you, for those of you who don't know me, a little bit about why I'm up here saying these things, sort of what gives me the authority to say such ridiculous things as some of the things I say. I was brought up in a family of a famous physicist, theoretical physicist, who published a paper with Einstein in 1935. I was taught the scientific method by the time I was 7 years old. I've applied it in everything I do ever since. And I spent 10 years professionally as a physicist and decided I didn't like that lifestyle. I got retrained, I became a psychotherapist. And starting in 1974, I began working with people. And in those days, the words working with people was like some kind of secret cultish thing going around. It's kind of strange. But anyway, I got really good at that stuff, mainly because I recognized what it did for me as the client. I was a client in psychotherapy for 10 years and with some really, really good people. And in the course of that, recovered all those early memories. I remember how I got to be who I am. I can feel and perceive and experience the effects of all the ways that my parents shortchanged me when I was an infant and then as a toddler. I remember. And for those of you who don't remember, know this, there are those of us who can show you how to recover that memory. We can teach you exactly what steps to go through. There's a process for it. It was derived from psychotherapy, but it isn't psychotherapy. Okay. Oh, okay. I'm counting down. I've got about 5 minutes. Okay, so the upshot is that I have participated in thousands and thousands of hours of research and experiments, including experiments that people have undertaken voluntarily to find out who they are as clients of mine. They've learned a great deal, and their lives are changed. I've written a book about it, and I have a free file, electronic file, that I will send to anyone who wants to know about that subject matter. The book is called Soul Bonding, and it is a distillation of 40 years of experience helping people change their lives. It's an educational paradigm. It is not clinical. I'm not a clinical practitioner. I have no wish to be a clinical practitioner. I'm an educator. And the thing I do that most educators don't do is I am willing to educate both your minds, your conscious and your subconscious, just by teaching you to do the things I do all the time that keep me alive and excited and going forward, even though I've been around for 80 years, 8 decades. Wow. As a kid, I never thought I'd live to be anything like this old. But I feel in some ways like I'm getting younger. And it's because of the things I've been doing that I'm starting to teach people. So stay in touch. Mike knows how to get in touch with me. And I'm going to be putting together all kinds of programs to help people learn this stuff and make it commonplace. It results in ethical societies. Small groups of highly creative people working together on any ethical project. And we could do that all over the world. That'd be really exciting. Thank you very much for being here and listening.
Thank you, Doug.